Hey everybody, what's going on? Hopefully you guys are enjoying today Monday, and hopefully the weekend was awesome for you guys. Just want to let you guys know that we're running a little bit late today. We probably going to start in about 20, 30 minutes. We're actually waiting for the Ukraine versus Sweden Euro game to end because pretty much all of Ukraine is watching it because it's the first match ever in the Euro for the Ukrainians. So it's a huge deal over there, and I kind of didn't want to have those guys have to be, you know, kind of be distracted by it and kind of, regret being, I guess scheduling the show at the time. So I figured I would let those guys enjoy the game and then have them come on and play a fun best of five with you guys, and that way we can take our time with them. But yeah, so I guess right now I figured I would just kind of hop on, answer any questions you guys have because I rarely get a chance to do any Q&A with the viewers, and I know most of you guys have questions for the players most of the time, but maybe there are some questions for me, and I figured I'd just hop on here and maybe answer some of them. So if you got any questions, just type them in the stream chat. I will I'll answer it. It's like a mini AMA maybe with me, ChanmanV, and yeah, try to answer some of those and maybe have you guys get to know me a little bit better. But in the meantime, hope you guys caught MLG. Oh my God, MLG was such an amazing event. Oh my God, I just sat like in front of my computer or at my laptop, while I was doing stuff with my kids and just trying to catch as many of the matches as I could because it was so good, such a great event. I mean, a lot of times I usually find things to nitpick at MLG, whether it's the matches they show or the streams aren't showing open bracket, but you know what? They pretty much covered it all this time, and I have to say I was very, very satisfied with the coverage and just everything about the whole event. Even with the just the Kespa guys. I mean, the whole Flash thing was just seeing Flash there, and obviously the other guys like Jaedong. I mean, it was pretty unbelievable. And I'm not even a Brood War guy, but just seeing the reaction of everybody there was it's like watching Boxer go to the first MLG. It was pretty amazing. It's really, really great for, I think, StarCraft to see those guys coming over to StarCraft 2. All right, let's see what questions we have here. Let's see. Talix, he's going to be casting with me later on. He's going to be casting these WhiteRa and Dimaga games when they're playing the best of five. Has a question. He says, "How long do you prep to get a stream going? What with the art and communication with the player scheduling?" That's a good question. I guess that's the most popular question people have for me is how long does it take to set all this stuff up? And honestly, like the amount of prep time I do, like I guess on days of shows, isn't very long because I have to say I probably do some prep a day or two beforehand, just so like an hour or half an hour before the show, I'm just not like freaking out, like trying to do everything at once. Because that's what I used to do when I first started the show, and it was, I'd always like miss something, like the sound would be screwed up, or something would be wrong, like the Skype settings would be wrong. So I kind of try to get some things ready, like the overlays. I try to do before today. And so, I mean, to answer your question, I don't know. Like at this point where it's a little bit more streamlined and I'm just used to doing it all, it probably takes, I don't know, maybe a couple hours to really set up a show. Talking to players is obviously like, here and there. Like I'm always trying to schedule in advance. So, I have shows that are probably like a month in advance right now, scheduled out. So that's kind of here and there. So it's hard to actually put a number on that. But, actually getting the overlays ready, like this overlay and like this overlay and, like in-game kind of overlays, that probably takes like probably 45 minutes, an hour to do those, and that's not too much, you know what I mean? But then if you count after the shows doing any kind of editing and uploading to YouTube and for this I don't do podcasts, but for Climbing the Ladder I do podcasts, right? So that all takes a little bit of time. So you can kind of add it up. It's definitely hours, but definitely not like Day 9. I know Day 9 spends like a lot of time on his dailies. Nothing like that because I actually I wouldn't have enough time to do that, given just current job and family. See, what do you think the pro scene what do you think some pros leave the scene when HOTS is released? Heart of the Swarm. Nope, I don't think any of them will leave. I think there'll be this brief period, this really, really short period where there will be still some Wings of Liberty tournaments still going on. And some pros might think that it's, kind of easy, low-hanging fruit, or just maybe some easy money, and maybe they'll stay in Wings of Liberty just a little bit longer. But no, but what I foresee with Higher Swarm is it's going to be almost like beta for Wings of Liberty again. It's just going to be like this Wild West again. The strats are just going to be all over the place, and it's going to be a really exciting time. I'm actually really excited about it because I remember when Katz was on climbing the ladder and just talking to him semi recently. He's really excited about that time too because this is when like all theory crafting kind of comes back and there isn't an ideal meta right now because nobody knows it and nobody knows like all the combinations of how the combinations of the units will work and stuff. So it's going to be a great time I think once the beta is released and probably till the end of the year. I mean 6 months is like nothing when it comes to trying to develop meta game. So really excited about that and I think majority of the pros will switch over to that. Let's see. So I was hearing that the low crowd was louder and representing. What's up with that? Uh, I don't think that's true. I mean, I wasn't there. I can't say. I mean, from watching the streams, I watched quite a bit of LOL too. I have to say. But I mean, I could hear the LOL crowd for sure. But it has a lot to do with maybe just the production, where the cameramen are, where the sound, mics are and stuff. But for sure, the crowd at SC2 was bigger than the one at LOL. The times I saw the camera kind of, shoot above the SC2 crowd, and you could see the LOL crowd. I mean, it was at least twice as big, I believe. I mean, somebody at the venue might want to comment on that, but they might have been louder at times. But I heard I heard on the stream and just from people there that when Flash came on the stage with the Keswick guys, it was like like a rock concert basically. So I can't think it's kind of hard to get louder than the SC2 folks. Let's see. What's the next question? What do you think is some of the coolest things you saw at MLG or in HOTS, and what do you get in? How do I get in contact with the pros? Okay, coolest things I saw at MLG was I think the Kesper reaction. The actual games themselves I thought were. I mean, I kind of saw some of the Pro League games already, so I knew they weren't going to be very good and high quality. It was just more the fact that they're playing each other on a big stage was really cool for folks. But the games themselves, I mean, that one JDOM game with the Queens and Investors was just god awful. So so that was pretty cool. I think a lot of some of the runs by folks was really cool. That's the thing I enjoy the most about LMGs. It's not necessarily who wins because obviously I love DRG too, so it's awesome to see DRG win. But it's really cool to see Suppy make a great run. Suppy had was the last American in the tournament. That was great to see. Sase making an awesome run, probably the best run of the tournament. Just the list of folks, Koreans, and everybody he beat was by far I think the best. And that guy's, I mean, he's been good for a long time, and it's just a matter of him actually having a good run in a tournament or just having a decent draw. So I was happy to see that. Anything else? I think having the WCS and MLG together was really cool because it was almost like some of those at least American players were had two chances to do well, right? So some players like Infinity Sevens and Sur. He did well in the WCS, and then he didn't do so well in MLG, but at least he had that huge really solid result in the WCS, which felt good. And obviously Vibe winning WCS. I mean, I don't think anybody would have guessed that. So it was cool seeing a lot of that. I want to build esports here. I mean, in the U.S. and NA, and things like that. I think help that cause, and it was really great seeing that. How do I get? Let's see. When it's the coolest things I saw. Coolest things I saw in Heart of the Swarm. I think that those mines, those Widow mines, I think are pretty amazing. I can just see like drops happening with Widow mines in bases and mineral lines on ramps. Like whenever it's like an army runs up to try to defend the drop, the Widow mine's just sitting at the ramp and just destroying everything that comes up. I think that would be just sick. Let's see what else. I think the Viper obviously is really great. Fast Hydras, charging Ultras. I mean, all the Zurich stuff I think is awesome. But watching the Hydras kind of in tandem with the Abduct is pretty sick, I have to say. I mean, I'm worried about the Roaches just being completely obsolete. That's kind of the problem between Roaches and Hydras. I feel like they're almost too similar of a unit that I feel like one will be obsolete. Like right now, Hydras are pretty much obsolete, right? I mean, they're pretty much only used for defending maybe like the two base immortal pushes, like all ends. But other than that, they're not used at all. And I think that might be the case if they come back into style because of the abduct and because of the speed, then roaches will be kind of gone, and I don't think anybody will be using roaches, and that's kind of a shame that's designed that way. So hopefully they'll consider that, maybe add something to one of the units so it makes it viable either way. How do I get in contact with so many pros? Honestly, it's just a matter of just messaging them and ask. Like when I started off, I think I was already taking some coaching lessons from some of the guys, and once I did that, once you kind of get in with a few of the pros, I mean you kind of are exposed to a lot more of them, and they're all really nice people. So whether it's like messaging, you can try messaging on TL, or sometimes you can ask other folks for introductions on Skype, and again, the players are really great people. They're not like snobs or anything. They're really awesome. They want to help out. Obviously, the community that we all support them. You know what I mean? So it's really cool that they do that, and particularly the guys that I'm going to have on today. I mean, they're a perfect example of that. I mean, WhiteRa. I mean, that guy is probably the busiest player in esports. And he still takes his time and comes on Pro Corner and does shows like this, and even other shows. So it's really awesome of him to do those kind of things. And same with Dimaga. Dimaga's the same way. I mean, they're all super busy, and obviously they could be saying no to all these things because they're on the rung of players. They're near the top. You know what I mean? Like, so they could easily be snobs and say, no, screw that. Your show's not big enough, for me to be on. But they don't. So, I hope you guys appreciate that from these two guys and others, lots of others in the community. And it's really great, and it's helped my show. And I try to do the same thing for up and coming players too on the show, just kind of because I know I'm not a big show right now, but at least I have some kind of viewer base that I can help out players that have no fan base right now. Let's see. What did you start doing this show? What keeps you going forward and doing more? Let's see. Sorry. Jasser says, when did you first start doing these shows, and what keeps you going forward doing more shows like Climbing the Ladder? May we see more shows in the near future? What got me started was I was doing some coaching. I was getting coaching from like Machine and Titan at the time, and I remember I was just streaming it because I just felt like I'm paying for this coaching. Might as well just like let as many people in the community check it out too that can't afford coaching or might get something of it. And a lot of people, at least a lot of folks that that were watching, like Tech, for instance, one of my mods, they were watching and they thought it'd be kind of cool to maybe make it a show. And I forgot who exactly mentioned it to me, and I actually gave it some thought, and I said, maybe I'll spend a weekend and think about how much time it would take to try to ramp this up into something more formal. And decided that it's worth it. I think it would be awesome fun, and I think it's something missing from the community, something like Pro Corner. So I decided to do it, and I started in December, and I've been doing it since. And I think I've only missed one show up to this point, and it's been great. I mean, it's been awesome. It's been really rewarding. I mean, I love the players. I mean, I'm just fans, just like you guys. So having all of our favorite players on the show has been just fun. That's about the only way I can describe it. And then giving it to you guys, having you guys, give me good feedback, and even just any kind of constructive criticism has been great because I try to improve the show. I try to improve myself as a host. I mean, I know I'm not the perfect host right now. I'm not as funny as Day9 or speak as well as those guys, but I'm trying to improve myself as we go, and hopefully you guys will be patient with me or understand that. But that kind of keeps me going, just knowing that you guys enjoy the content. Starting climbing the ladder again, it was something I felt like the community needed, something that I think will help I guess the community and maybe community members get into esports or help grow esports in the industry. Talking about misconceptions, getting some of these experts or veterans, esports veterans, to come and give us advice on how to get into esports, how to, what some of the mistakes they made that we won't make again in the future or try not to make again. I mean, I think a lot of those conversations are happening offline, and I felt like it would be good to have it online, and sometimes it's a little bit in your face. I know it is, but I feel like it's necessary, and hopefully you guys appreciate that. More shows in the future? I hope so. I mean, I can't really say. I mean, I definitely have a lot of ideas and project ideas, content ideas that I hope to bring to fruition in the future. And so hopefully it'll take form in shows, or it'll take form in some kind of events. Whatever it is. Let's see. It's kind of fun. I should do this more often. Let's see. What's the next one? What do you think about Diablo 3? Exceed your expectations? Well, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm disappointed with Diablo 3, and I know a lot of people are gonna like hate me for that, but I love Diablo 2, and for those of you guys who don't know how, I mean, I'm actually a little bit older than most of you guys probably think. I'm actually 36, and when I was playing Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, I was in college, and maybe a little bit even before college, and I just loved it. I mean, just loved it. We played Diablo 2 over and over and over and over again, and back then, it was like the only RTS, like, really third person kind of RTS, and just kind of the drops, was really rewarding. It has that really great feel to it. It's just the random drops. But the biggest thing I'm disappointed with Diablo 3 is I feel like it's exactly the same thing. I mean, it's you're playing through all the acts, and then instead of having it be this long linear type of game where it's you have this you don't have to go through the game once, and it the skill kind of, or the difficulty scales with the game, and instead of being like that, which I felt like it was going to be before I actually saw the beta. It's the same thing where you're just playing the same acts, and then you're supposed to play it like 2 or 3 more times at a harder level. I don't know. That's a little disappointing to me, given that they've had probably like 10 years or so, right, to come out with something new. And yeah, so that's really my comment about it. I don't want to say much more about it because I love Blizzard, and it's really the first title I've been a little bit disappointed in. Okay. Chanman, what do you think of Alicia doing so well at MLG, taking out the big names? Did you expect that? Definitely did not expect that. I mean, Alicia probably like 8 months ago. I mean, I would have said I would have expected that kind of result, but Alicia hasn't done anything in a long time. So this was by far a surprise, and it wasn't like he got like a great draw or anything like that. I mean, he beat good players, and he gave DRG a few good games at the end too. So it's great to see that. Hopefully Alicia will translate. I think Alicia's playing in the GESL event this coming weekend, so go watch the SoCal event. Hopefully he'll do well there, but hopefully it translates into Code S, Code A and Code S for him too, GSL. So that'd be really cool. Did you say Sase was American? No, he's not American. I never said he was American. Did I? If I did, I didn't mean to. I mean, I know he's sweet. So, by the way, I'm having Sase on an upcoming show. It's gonna be like a big announcement show. So I'm having to pull in these announcements of an announcement, but but I promise you, Sase and another guest that's never been on the show, that's pretty big, will be on the show later this month. Let's see. No, that was Suppy. Thanks, Jaxer. Suppy was who I was talking about, the last American. Let's see. Chanman, Viper, WhiteRa, HiveTech are going to be obsolete. Yeah, Terrestrials will be are not going to be obsolete. Okay, well, that's good. Hopefully it won't be. So basically, I have to defend versus high DPS marine drops in PvZ now. Is that defend versus high DPS marine drops in PvZ? I don't quite get that one, Dave, but what do you think I can do as a fan player to help esports scene grow? Revis, what can you do? Just, I mean, anything you want. I mean, if you want to like try to host a LAN, create a LAN, do it. You know what I mean? It's really it's the theme of all my shows. All the CTLs up to this point is you want to get into esports, or there's something you want to do. Do it. It's the whole, like Jason Tuckman said, poke the box. Go and just do something. Make mistakes. Just try and do it. And and you'll be surprised sometimes. You'll. I mean, it's rewarding, and B, that's how you get things done. That's how progress is made, is by doing stuff. I mean, I would never have the show, right, if I didn't actually commit to doing it. Let's see. So yeah, so I would do that. Obviously to get more specifics, it just depends on what you want to do. Like if you want to cast, you can do something like Talix, has done. Nostalgia Talix, who's going to be casting with me. I mean, he's going to be casting for like Play M and other things. He'll talk about when he's on the show. But how did he get started? He just started casting on his own stream. Set up a Twitch account, set up XSplit, and start streaming. I mean, streaming's free, so do a little bit of that. Try to get on and let folks know that you're doing casting. For free, you'll cast anybody's games, and just basically work at it. If you really want to do it, just try to promote yourself and try to get your name out there, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how many people are just need a caster, or there's not enough people out there for all the events and everything going on. I mean, I don't know how many times I've been approached and like, hey, do you know a caster that can do this event for me? And honestly, like sometimes I don't have anybody because they're busy with other stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. A lot of opportunity for event organizers, a lot of lots of stuff out there for folks to do. Let's see. What do you do? What do an infestor or corruptor brood cost? Oh, actually, that's not really a question. Yes, I look younger than 36. I know, everybody says that. Let's see. Anything else? Actually, you know what? Heart of the Swarm. One of the biggest things I'm excited about is the joint replays, for one. Obviously, everybody being able to kind of watch replays off the same, the server basically, so that we don't have to sync up stuff. And my computer's always slower, I think, than everybody else's, so I'm always behind everybody. That's a big thing, and also the whole being able to restart a game from any replay. I'm telling you right now, guys, and I don't. I mean, I believe it with all my heart, and I know like some players disagree, some big players disagree with me, but I truly believe that ability is not only going to help, with drops, regames in tournaments. I feel like that is one of the biggest practice tools that I feel will help actually the NA or NAE or the guys that just don't have as much time to practice. I feel like the practice efficiency will go up by a lot if you can restart a game. Imagine this. Okay, I'll give you the scenario. Imagine if you had, I don't know, like, I don't want to put names, so if you imagine you had a Zerg player and a Terran player playing each other, and they're practicing, and the Zerg, it goes in the late game, Broodlord, Infestor, kind of corruptor control, and screws something up really badly, right? And, it took like about 25, 30 minutes to get to that point in the game, right? Screws it up, game over, let's say Zerg loses, and what does he do? He sits there and he's like, damn, okay, let me look at the replay. Looks at the replay. Okay, I should have like, controlled. Maybe I should put my Broodlets on a different hotkey than my Corruptors, or I should have split them up a little bit better, or I shouldn't have lost my Infestors. They were too close. Damn, I need to really, really work on my late game control for Zerg. So what do I have to do? Okay, well, I'm just going to play another next game. I guess I'll play another custom game against my practice partner, or I'll play a ladder game. And those games might not even get to late game. Maybe they do, but even if they do, it takes 30 minutes to get there. So why not go like, hey, practice partner, I want to practice this. Like, do you mind just restarting this replay again, like at minute 30, 31, so that we can just replay the scenario again, so I can practice my control? And hopefully the practice partner says, sure, you know what I mean? And then they do it. And he screws it up again, or the Terran guy screws it. It's like, let's do it again. So they just do it again, and then you know what? All of a sudden you have this ability to iteratively, or just like, ability to practice this one thing over and over and over again, like control. Yeah, that scenario might not happen again. Like that. This is the biggest argument that people always make. Like that scenario is not going to happen in a game like very often, like the exact same scenario. But that's not the point. The point is to really practice your control. Practice like being in that late game, and that's like one of the things the Koreans have advantage over, I think, the North Americans and Europeans, is that they play so much that if you look at the aggregate number of games that they've been in late game, it's higher than the NA folks. They haven't gotten a chance to practice it. So so it'll give the NAers at least the ability to practice like late game like a lot more, even if they don't have as much time, because you can just go straight to it. You don't have to dedicate like 30 minutes hoping that you get into a similar situation. So anyways, that's like the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. I mean, I just, oh god, I think that's so good. Hopefully, I hope other players use it. Again, guys, we're running a little bit late. It should be any minute now. I'm just waiting for Dimaga and WhiteRa to give me the okay that the Ukrainian versus Sweden game is over, the soccer game, and then they're gonna hop on. Let's see, anything else? All right, guys, be nice, man. You got all these guys. Let's see, more questions. It seems. Tell us favorite food. Oh man, Jagster's asking all this stuff. Let's say favorite food. I love. What's my favorite food? It's like favorite casual food or just food. I mean, I love lobster. I mean, I can't deny that. But obviously, I don't eat lobster that much because it's so expensive. Love pizza. As you can tell, I'm a healthy guy. Jeez. Non-alcoholic drink. Honestly, I just love water, man. Like I used to drink like soda and Gatorade and just all kinds of different, sugar kind of drinks, I guess. But it always comes back to just water for me, and I always feel better just drinking water too. Alcoholic drink, Red Bull and vodka, love that. Movies. I'm a geek, so of course I'm gonna love the old school Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Matrix. So what's a movie maybe I enjoy that? I can't think of a movie that I just like really really loved. What's a movie I've seen recently that's decent? Damn, I'm drawing a blank. I love indie films too, so I haven't gotten a chance to watch as many since having my all the kids keeping me busy, but I love movies. TV shows. I'm a reality junkie, so shoot me for that. Foreign player. My favorite foreign player is definitely these two guys on the show are in the running, and I love Stefano. Stefano is just, it's hard not to love Stefano. Let's see. But yeah, it comes like playing instruments. Absolutely, AHAT SC. I played the piano for a long time, and for me, a lot of that, I was talking to VVV Titan for a while, who you guys I'm not sure know or know not, but know or not know now. But he used to be one of my coaches, and he was actually a musician too. And we talked about it a little bit, and yeah, a lot of StarCraft. I can see like if I were trying to become a professional gamer, that a lot of it is similar to practicing like an instrument. Really focusing on like parts of your game and then trying to put it together, in the end into like playing a full game and having that all be just natural. It's almost like sight reading if you got, for you musicians out there. It's like having your technique so well, your mechanics and your technique just so well that it doesn't matter what comes up because your hands know what to do when they see it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing in games. And that's why it's all about practice, and that's why people always say, "Oh, Koreans practice so much more. That's why they're better." It's better because like when they're put into that situation where it's like, "Oh, Nest's getting 10 base baned, and he's not even, he doesn't know about it yet." That last second he sees the 10 base or 10 pool bane, he knows how to react to it like instantly. It's not even like hesitation. He knows that boom, okay, I need to put a queen at the ramp with a single ling or a drone blocking the ramp completely. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that, and it reminds me of like playing the piano where I'm like, okay, I've worked scales and churning and Hanon and all these things where I'm just like, I'm just moving my fingers like this, right? So whenever I see that kind of thing, like on or a piece of music that I'm learning and I see it, I can just like pick it up like instantly. Same kind of thing. Are you going to qualify for TSL4? What's that? Of course I'm not. I'm not going to qualify for it. Hopefully a lot of good players will qualify for it. But Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yeah, that's a good movie. I agree, Talix. That's a good movie. Actually, TV shows too. Game of Thrones, guys. Game of Thrones, great show. I think everybody probably watched it already. Oh, it just ended. Who won? Oh, 2-1 for Ukraine. Oh, they're going to be happy. Should be a good show then if they're going to be happy. Hold on just a second. I need to close my door real quick. Come on. All right, I'm back. At some point, unfortunately, like my kids will probably be back. Even that's going to be running late. My kids will be running around outside, so you might hear them a little bit during the show. So that's how we do it in Pro Corner. Little bit casual. Um, yeah, the Game of Thrones. Man, I can't believe it's only 10 episodes. Man, I wish it was like more. It's like, why isn't there, more episodes after being picked up from last season? It seems like it just started. Now it's over already. They have to wait another year for folks. Yeah, people are drunk. Ain't that the truth, man? Soccer games, overweight strippers. No comment on that one. A mystery turn. That's funny. But yeah, but upcoming months, yeah, Dimaga's ready. Let me see if I can start the call. Oh, it's waiting. Let's wait for WhiteRa to say. Yeah, they should be happy. Oh man, first game ever, and they win 2-1. Sweden's good. Sweden's pretty good too. So good stuff. Actually, are Sweden good at soccer? I'm thinking of hockey. Sweden's always awesome in hockey, but yeah, this month is such a busy month, man. DreamHack this coming weekend with GESL. So check out both, guys, if you can. I mean, support both of them. Have both streams up if you can. And support both events. There'll be lots of good players at both. So, did you play, what is that? WCL? I didn't play what's WCL? I have no idea what WCL is. I played Warcraft 2. Quite a bit, actually. Oh, Warcraft 1? I played Warcraft 1, yeah, Warcraft 1 was back in my college days. Warcraft 2 I played super, serious. So, but unfortunately, it was back in the day before Battle.net was huge. Okay, I'm going to start the call with them. Let me give them some of my channels, and let me tweet real quick, guys. Yeah, tweet to everybody else too, guys. We're starting the show. And here we go. Let me at least get them on the call here. And we'll switch over. But it's been fun, guys. We got to do this more often. Yeah, Casino was kind of good at the time. Back when Lidstrom and all those guys were awesome. Do I use Vent? I used to use Vent when I was doing gaming, but I haven't used Vent much lately. Skype seems so sufficient now, and everybody's computers are fast enough now that the whole peer-to-peer doesn't really make much of a difference on Skype. But I think people should use Google Plus more for all this kind of stuff, like all the streaming, the videos and stuff. Google Plus has better features.
Hello.
Hey, WhiteRa, what's up?
Yeah, well, all good. Just watching.
Yeah, I'm sure you're happy. 2-1. Huh?
I like how play Shevchenko, old school.
Which one?
Shevchenko, it's old player.
Oh, a player? Yeah.
He make 2 shots and.
Oh, did he really? 2 goals, right? I know it was 1-1, right? So when did they score the winning goal?
Yeah, he make 2 goals.
Oh yeah, he made 2 goals. When was the winning goal? Was it close to the end or?
No, it's
I thought
the beginning second round.
Oh really? Oh, okay, because I thought it was 1-1 when I looked at it. Okay, so maybe I just had it wrong.
Hey guys.
Hey Dima, what's up?
Hey, I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, I bet you're happy. I think all of Ukraine is happy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Где ты смотрел футбол, Дима?
Я ж дома сейчас. Мы с женой смотрели, так. Ты что, куча эмоций.
We watching football in home with wife. Dimaga watch with him, his wife and me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and now in street some people crowd.
Oh really? Some neighborhood parties, right? Oh man, you could just hear the whole neighborhood just scream at one time. That's like the best part of having everybody watching the same game.
Yeah.
But awesome. So what are we doing today? So today we're going to be doing best of 5 with you guys. Sound good?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
sounds good.
very good.
Cool.
Like always.
Did you guys catch MLG at all?
I
Mm,
see some games, but
Mhm.
miss first days because I'm relax 3 days and
Mhm.
only see some second days games and final
Okay.
before.
Yeah, what'd you think of the finals? What'd you think of like Sase and Stefano and some of those ZVPs?
I think maybe Sasi have some K, like preparing some materials build order, must enter in for Immortals versus must link and Roaches. It's worked very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely
Yeah,
caught
and
him,
you
but
can ask Dimaga too about this.
yeah.
I didn't see finals. I see only like Sase against Stefano,
Hmm.
and that's all. So I didn't know. I just see results, but didn't see games. But sorry, Sase was really good
Hmm.
overall.
Yeah.
A really good
Oh
run by
gosh,
this match.
I was hoping he would make it to the finals because I feel like
Yeah,
I think Hammer would have played, Sase would have played DRG better than Alicia did.
yeah,
So,
probably,
mhm.
but I don't because like I'm not sure, but I saw like Soki win Donragu
Oh
in group
god,
stage like
yeah,
2-1,
that was
and then
awesome.
Donragu become top one. Like
Yeah, that was awesome. What's funny is I had Delphi on with Dark Force
hmm
like last week, and Delphi was telling me, I forget if it was online or offline. He was telling me that Sake is going to beat DRG like in his pool because he's been practicing with him. I'm like, really? Oh my god, that's crazy, right? And then sure enough, he did. And that was really cool for Sake. I was happy for
yeah,
him. But all right, guys, why don't
that's really
we
nice.
why don't we jump in the games? That sound good? So
Let's meet on Europe.
okay, yeah, I have my channel up, ChanmanV.
Let me give link on Ustream and type on my Facebook. And you
Okay.
can make a game, right?
Yeah, I'll make the game,
Okay.
and we're gonna start on Daybreak, and then you guys don't talk during it, right? It's gonna be normal, just you guys play, and then we'll bring you back on later to talk about the replay, like maybe at least one replay. We'll go through it and have you guys talk about the matchup and just the games a little bit. Sound
hmm
good?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Sounds very good.
Okay, I know you like it, Alexi. But okay, so why don't you guys get off Skype, and I will pull you guys on later.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, see ya. All right, guys, let me bring on Talix. He's going to help me cast these games. So again, uh, we're gonna have these guys just play like normal kind of show match style, where they uh, don't have to talk during their play, because that was a little bit distracting before for them. So we're going to have them play without talking, and then we're going to pull them on later and have them walk through their play.
Hey, hey.
Hey, what's up,
Not much,
Alex?
you.
Good, good.
Oh,
Thanks for coming on and helping me cast these games, buddy.
my pleasure.
All right.
I'm actually really excited. I'm like, Dimaga and WhiteRa? Yeah, I'm going to cast that.
It's definitely good stuff. These guys are always great, and they always play some fun games. So we're gonna start on Daybreak LE, and while I'm setting it up, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and maybe some of the things that you'll be doing in the near future.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, my name is Talix. I started casting last November, so November of 2011. Just like Chanman over here, I wanted to help, grow esports and all that kind of stuff, and I'm a terrible player, so I thought I would get into casting. I love talking constantly. Recently, I casted the World Championship Series Canadian Second Chance qualifiers. I was recently picked up by mTwDimaga, so I've been
Awesome.
casting over for them. I'm here today. I'm going to be casting a LAN local here in Calgary pretty soon, a small little LAN, and of course trying to get bigger ones sooner. But this game is starting, so enough about me.
No, that's awesome. No, I mean, like, this guy is a perfect example of somebody just poking the box, just doing something, right? And then now he's casting for Plan and some WCS. I mean, that's great, dude. I mean, it's I remember last time we were talking, you hadn't gotten picked up by Playham and that kind of stuff. So
No, yeah,
hard
I
work
was.
pays off. So
Yeah, just got to keep at it. I
exactly,
mean, and you
exactly,
do make sacrifices. I will say that.
absolutely.
Hard work comes with sacrifices.
Yeah, time is not something. Time is the valuable thing, right? So opportunity cost. You're giving up something for doing this, right? But
Exactly.
if it's something you love, even if you want to do it as a hobby, it's worth it in my eyes. So.
Oh yeah, seriously, everybody should just get into esports. It's so awesome to be in this.
Yep.
But let's get into this game. Spawning up here in the top right-hand corner as our blue Protoss on Daybreak LE, we have WhiteRa.
All right, I got the names mixed up already. Sweet.
Oh snap! It's already going good.
Keep going, bud. Keep going. Sorry, didn't want to interrupt.
And spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner as our red Zerg player, we have Dimaga.
All right.
Now, I bet both of these players are going to be off a nice little high there from Ukraine beating Sweden, so we're going to be seeing, like, APM either. It's going to be either 30 or 300. You know, it's either going to be so elated that they don't have to play very hard to do good jobs, or they're just going to be, like, on fire. See how that
I think it's going to be more so on fire. I think whenever.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you're going to be seeing these guys with, like, a 30 APM anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. I know when I'm on adrenaline, I tend to go faster, and you know, my effective APM is probably the same, but my raw APM is probably much higher.
Don't worry. I still remember back when I would play with one hand, and with the other hand, of course, I'd be using it to like rest my cheek or something.
Oh, yeah, well, hold off there, man. I mean, the other hand, you're kind of going down the wrong path there.
Yeah, I was doing it wrong, but now we're back in playing good. It looks like WhiteRa here is going to be going for that fast Forge expand, but it looks like he is going to actually be going Nexus first build here, already up to 14 supply and queuing 3 more probes, so there will be a Nexus first coming from WhiteRa. Dimaga, though, it looks like he has played a very standard 15 pool, probably going to be finishing this up with a 15 hatch or 16 hatch, you know, whatever they want to play.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of interesting to see the dynamics between the Nexus first and the Forge first, because you know, you see some Protoss, you know, being a little bit more greedy and taking the Nexus first. But I feel like they're susceptible to some timings early that you know, we'll see if Dimaga tries or not because of getting that gateway just a little bit. Oh, actually, he's going Forge first, so.
Yep.
Okay, so definitely the safer route.
Yeah, WhiteRa right now is trying to deny Dimaga from throwing down that expansion. It looks like he doesn't have enough to put down a pylon, so he's going to have to dance around a little bit. He does have enough now. There the pylon goes. And he's going to be trying to retreat this probe. 5 HP, a really great play there from WhiteRa. And Dimaga is just going to leave this drone here, take off some damage on this pylon. And he does have 6 Zerglings being produced right now as well.
All right. And, you know, putting that pylon there, I still think is, you know, the best thing to do. I know it delays that gateway just by a little bit, but it's definitely worth it. Look how long it's taken Dimaga to have his links. He's just going straight. Wow.
Yeah. He actually is going to be timing this. This is a long map to run across. He was kind of hoping, I bet, that the gateway would go before the photon cannon. So I think that many Zerglings, of course, means he wants to be aggressive and try to see if he can run past that cannon. The cannon will finish up in time, though.
Exactly. Like
for WhiteRa.
If WhiteRa would have gone Nexus first, it actually wouldn't have. So I think that's why you know, Dimaga's sending just to check here. And WhiteRa's always been good about leaving a probe there, you know, for a block, or if you have to throw up an emergency gateway. This will be canceled later for a cybernetic score.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, he will probably cancel this. He is getting the gas up at his natural. He's just waiting to see if the wings are going to be coming through. Yep. Or maybe he wants to leave it. He did move that that probe back. He's continuing to make probes at this point. Double assimilator going up in his main. So you know, there it goes. It gets canceled, and the cybernetic score is going down. Yeah,
I think you just have to be safe, just to make sure that third's going up, and he's not, you know, massing a bunch of lings and doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, you never really want Zerglings running by into your main to do some aggression to your probes, because you have to probe dance, and that's just wasted mineral time.
Exactly.
So.
Okay, so it looks like Dimaga's going that standard 3 hatchery build. You know, he's actually getting gas a little bit earlier. He's not going with the either double gas at 44 or triple gas. Actually, I saw Stefano doing triple gas at like 48. So it's a little bit, you know, he's getting gas just to be safe. Probably wants to get speed a little bit earlier, and kind of gives you some options too if you want to do stuff like main busting and that type of thing.
Oh yeah, that's totally true. Something that we've actually noticed in this game is that Dimaga, he did get a little bit later of a gas, so as you can see that metabolic boost just being started now. And how many is he left in there? I think there's still, 3 still left in the gas, which means that of course he's probably going to want to do a tech up to lair sooner than later, and of course start making kind of an army to try to defend these 3 bases. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see if he does. I'm wondering if he's going to throw down a double Evo here in a second, and Because
that was also, yeah.
one thing that about Dimaga's ZVP I have to say is that it's funny. Last time I had Dimaga on, I had him end up playing a ZVT with Illusion, but I actually wanted him to do a ZVT. I just couldn't find a guest in time to Protoss guest to have him. But I wanted to have him do ZVP because his ZVP has been a little different than before. He likes this really heavy Ling centric ZVP. We'll see if he does it here or not.
Yeah, we'll see how this gets all played out for WhiteRa. Tongue twister there.
Exactly.
WhiteRa looks like he did get for that earlier robotics facility. He is making sentries and immortals, so it looks like he's probably going to try to do a sentry immortal attack. Probably expecting roaches coming out here from Dimaga,
right,
as that is the perfect counter.
Yep, exactly. And I think we're probably going to see about 3 gateways being thrown up here in just a second. Typical kind of 4 gateway with 1 robo pumping out immortals. Does WhiteRa have an observer on the field here? Does he?
I didn't see it, but I will just click.
Okay, so he started off just building. Yeah, so here are those flings I was talking about. He likes to. I think Sheth also likes to do this kind of timing, and it's kind of good because WhiteRa's kind of out in the open right now. This is exactly the reason for doing it. Is to maybe catch a sentry or 2, maybe even get an immortal. So here he comes.
Here they come, the Zerglings.
Oh, they kind of...
A little bit of a blunder there from Dimaga. The force field trying to keep those Zerglings from running in. That wasn't the best engagement there from Dimaga.
Yeah, that was a little strange. He didn't,
quite surprised by that.
He didn't even swing at the guys. So.
Yeah, that's like when you have like the perfect, like, the pitch right down the middle, and you just like, with your bat, you just drop the bat, and you're just like, oops.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that one.
You just strike out.
Yeah, you just strike out.
Okay, so a bunch of spines at the 3rd. That's okay. So I mean, the spines are definitely indicative of him wanting to play a more passive, being more passive at least in this mid game. Whether he goes to mute us or or is he gonna I wonder if he's gonna go directly to Hive here.
Not quite sure. He did get that Baneling nest between cities. Obviously, going to want to work on Zergling's Baneling for a little while, and it would definitely be a good idea for him to start teching to Mutalisk as that lair is nearly completed. Let's see how many gases he has. He's still just 2 gases still. That's maybe not. That's interesting. Very, very heavy Zergling play then. All
right, and here comes the Warp Prism. That's going to be, giving WhiteRa the ability to warp in near the, on top of the creep. Given that the creep's already, pretty far out already. So it looks like he'll probably try to go through the 3rd. He'll see that there's 4 spine crawlers here, and I don't know. He might have to switch directions here. Yep. Yeah. He's going to go in the natural now.
Oh, here come the Zerglings from Dimaga.
Yeah.
But
so it's getting tense. I think it's gonna be all about engaging him in this open space so he can get like a full surround on this Protoss army. Otherwise, the Protoss army will probably win this very handily. Like the ramp, for instance, terrible place to engage him. So I think Dimaga will wait for him to go all the way up the ramp. And here we go.
Dimaga.
Lots
Pulling
of
back
things.
that Spinecrawler a little bit. Alright, some force fields going down now by WhiteRa. Looks like he wants to move into engage. That Spinecrawler actually getting moved at not the best time. Some great
look at those force fields. Look at those force fields.
Oh my god.
That is sick right there. Oh my god, that was 6 force fields right there.
WhiteRa just handled that really, really well.
Exactly.
Right now, Dimaga is trying to find an angle to get in there with those Banelings, but those good force fields from WhiteRa are preventing that. It looks like he's trying to move some of the Stalkers to deal or get some of that damage from those Banelings. Dimaga is starting to fall quite a lot here in terms of supply. Some Zealots are being whipped in now by WhiteRa. A lot of damage is going down, but Dimaga is just unrelenting with these Zerglings that are just streaming in here. The Baneling nest will fall. Some Queens going down. There's the GG by Dimaga. WhiteRa takes game 1.
And that's the Immortal push, that Century Immortal push. That's the 2 base push that Zergs have been having issues with, and that's very good play, very good execution by WhiteRa. Let's see what map Dimaga decides to pick here.
Yep. So this will be a best of 5, of course. So WhiteRa taking that 1-0 lead, which is pretty good. We're just waiting on map choice.
Man.
So what did you think about that? Oh, those force fields right at the end there. Those were just sick.
Yeah, those force fields, I mean, it was perfect. I mean, they were perfectly spaced. What can you say? I mean, they were exactly where it needed to be. So, because of that, I think WhiteRa lost about half of his army, and that's game. The Zerg's going to need every single Bane and Ling to really stop that army, especially with the tankability of the Immortals. So, yeah, just really good execution. Not much more to say about that, really.
Yeah, it definitely using some very, very high skilled special tactics there.
Exactly. Okay, let's start this new game up. We're going to be playing on Cloud Kingdom. Dimaga said he's cool with any map, so you gotta love that. But so I'm going to play Cloud Kingdom, and then we'll see what other map that we play next. So right now, guys, it is currently 1-0 in favor of WhiteRa in this best of 5 series. What we're going to do is we're going to have them play this best of 5 in which will be casted by me and Talix, and then. And afterwards, we're going to have them come on and do some replay analysis of 1 or 2 of these games, depending on how much time we have. Again, we'll probably be running, given that we started 30 minutes late, we're going to be running until 6:30 Eastern. So, we'll definitely keep as much time as we can with these guys.
Definitely.
Okay, WhiteRa asking, we talk after this series? Yes, we talk after this series. I know WhiteRa's always been really, really distracted whenever we did the best of 7s I used to do, where I'd had basically one guy talk to us the whole time, and then we just kind of take turns doing them. And he was always really distracted. So one of the main reasons I'm doing this best of 5 format, or one of the reasons it was developed, is because of WhiteRa. So we can attribute this format to WhiteRa. I should call it the WhiteRa format.
I'm very much the same way when I'm like playing and I'm like trying to cast me doing some ladder games or just playing with some people on my stream.
Yeah.
And people are like, you're there, you should talk to us and stuff. And I'm just like, quiet, I'm trying to concentrate. I'm like the worst person ever to be like trying to talk and play at the same time.
This is me playing on stream. This is one of the reasons why I don't stream that much when I'm playing, because this is me when I'm playing on ladder. I don't say a single word or anything.
I'm getting that last look of that now, and just seeing your dead stare at the screen.
Exactly, dead stare, mouth open just a tiny bit. You know what I mean? It's yep. That's my look of concentration. It's not the most flattering thing, so.
It's very beautiful. All right, well, we have spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom as our red Protoss player taking that last game. We have WhiteRa. And down in the bottom left-hand corner, our blue Zerg losing that last game, but still has an amazing chance here in this series. It's Dimaga. All
right, let's see how last game it was pretty standard start opening from both. I'd say. And unfortunately, a lot of Zergs end up having that exact thing happen to them. Is it mixed up again?
Looks okay to me. You did have some black flashing for a couple of seconds, but
yeah, that's when sorry guys, when I alt tab sometimes, or like that. Right now that's XSplit, over the thing. Sorry about that, guys. But whenever I'm using on the EU server, it does that. It doesn't do that when I'm on an A. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Man.
What can I do, man? XSplit. Can't control it.
XSplit is finicky at best. We'll go with that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a great program, though. I mean, how easy is streaming with XSplit? So we can't really complain too much.
All right. Well, for WhiteRa, it looks like we're going to be having another Nexus first build. Dimaga was able to put down that spawning pool at 15, and he started making another drone. The probe for WhiteRa gets in here and notices this. And it looks like he's just going to be sending that probe straight to that natural to try to block it. Doesn't want a hatch going down anytime soon.
Oh, they were saying the colors wrong. They switched colors on me. Those guys.
Those
people. Guys. Dimaga was red last game. Now he's blue.
Yeah, that's true.
Those guys.
All right. Well, Dimaga is going to try to get down here and stop this probe from dancing around. The probe is now going to run in circles. He does have enough to... Oh, what is this by WhiteRa? Actually getting that forge down first, seeing that the spawning pool was there a little bit early, so he's just like, I'll get that down before he actually puts the Nexus. The hatchery for Dimaga has finished up. We do have 4 Zerglings in production now for Dimaga. WhiteRa did finally put that Nexus down at his natural. He's also putting down another pylon. So it's going to just turn into a little bit different of an opening from the last game, but still a very, very solid opening coming here from WhiteRa.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Dimaga does something different here. Will he opt for more of a roach type of army, or will he, stick with the heavy Lings and Bane type of army. I mean, honestly, if he would have been able to engage at a place where he could have, where there weren't enough force fields, whether it was just like in a wide open space or whatnot, he would have, he would have stuffed that army easily. I mean, he had plenty of Banes, plenty of Lings. It's just, Gosu force fields there completely stunted that. So, this map, whenever you're rolling across the map, you have much more of a chance to kind of bait force fields. That's a really important thing to stopping this, right? Is really try to get as many force fields, for them to use as many force fields as possible before the actual real engagement.
Yeah.
So, Dimaga was not able to do that last game at all, and maybe even attacking the sentries with those Lings early on might have gotten like 3 force fields out of them.
I definitely think doing a little bit of aggression to that would have been better, especially if he could have forced. He did force 1 force field that went to the natural, but that wasn't really enough. He really needed like 2 or 3 to get like a surround on the sentries to make sure they didn't die. That would have obviously made that push there with the Immortals at the end of the first game a lot less effective.
Yeah, yeah. So
all right, for this game, we see that WhiteRa has thrown down his cybernetics core now. He does have double gases going, and continuing to make probes like a boss. Dimaga, of course, has taken his 3rd. A very, very similar opening to that last game. Very similar.
Yeah. One thing to note about this map, though, is the 3rd base on this map is really, there's 3 entryways into the 3rd base here. So it's actually difficult for both races, honestly, to defend it. But WhiteRa didn't go for a 3rd last game, so we'll see if he actually ends up going for one here, or if he'll opt for more of a 2-base again. I think a lot of Protoss end up going 2-base, at least opening 2-base kind of timings on this map because of that, because this 3rd base is so wide open. It's hard to block it with just gateways and cannons.
Yeah, that's extremely true, especially against Zerg. Zerg is obviously so mobile early game that, let's say, for instance, they go early tech to Mutalisk. They hit that 3rd base for a Protoss. Protoss has to come defend. Then they could just fly right up into the main, and that's a really long rush distance between the 3rd and the main. And the same could be said for Zerglings, as they can move so fast.
Yep. Well, it looks like WhiteRa's opening the exact same way.
Maybe got 2 gas, though, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, there's a 3rd. He's starting
there
the 3rd now.
Just starting that 3rd now.
Yeah.
All right, for Dimaga, it looks like he's still going pretty Zergling heavy. Here he is getting that double evolution chamber now. He is making drones, so he can obviously have a really nice economy. He hasn't started teching to Lair yet, but he doesn't need to because he doesn't have the gas. Well, he does have the gas, but he doesn't need to quite yet. And Metabolic Boost is nearly finished up for him as well, so maybe we're going to be seeing heavy Zerglings again. Yeah,
I think he's doing the same thing. I'm wondering if it's more of a counter-attacking style. It's just, the timing just didn't work out for him last game. Because, again, he's making... He made a first set of Lings early. Okay, he's joining really hard now. The early gas, I think, is for these upgrades. Yeah. So I think he's going to be getting both upgrades here before Lair. I know he likes that double upgrade before Lair. And, when you're upgrading Lings, I mean, there's a reason you're doing that. I mean, I think he's looking to either counterattack or try to stop this immortal heavy army with just Lings.
Yep, we do see the WhiteRa did make that first immortal. Oh, it looks like some gateways actually going thrown down here from WhiteRa to defend this ramp. That's interesting. I don't tend to see that very often, but I like it.
It's really smart. If you block this entire natural, then if you do decide to bring up a 3rd, they can't get around that little neck there and actually surround you. I mean, if you just block where he's blocking, or where his forge and stuff are, you can actually get a full surround on that army right there.
Yeah. It looks like WhiteRa is going to be going for that earlier 3rd base. A little bit different than that last game. He does have some sentries and immortals, but he does start off making that observer, of course, here for WhiteRa. He did finish that +1 ground attack upgrade. For our Zerg player Dimaga, he did throw down the Baneling Nest. He is teching to Lair right now. He's thrown down a Macro Hatch in his main as well. +1/+1 is on its way here for the Zerg ground attack upgrade. And he's actually going to be moving out and taking a 4th base right now, too. So
yeah, I want to point out. Yeah, I definitely want to point out one thing, that it's really cool that what WhiteRa did this game. I mean, I think he purposely showed Dimaga the immortal with a few sentries, so that Dimaga doesn't know if he's doing the exact same thing or not. And you know what? Dimaga's reacting the same way he reacted last game, where he built all these Lings. He has the Bane Nest, and you know what? WhiteRa's actually just falling back to a 3rd base this time instead.
Yeah, I like this play by WhiteRa. You know, obviously wanting to get a very nice economical lead. He did play a little bit of a head games there with Dimaga, but Dimaga is making so many Zerglings. He's making 44 right now. Those are in production. He is getting ventral stacks for those Overlords, so there's a very, very good chance we might actually see some Baneling drops coming here out of Dimaga.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Either that or maybe even some drops in the main base with just Ling drops in the main base. But yeah, we haven't seen Baneling drops in a long time. I mean, I remember watching Sen Baneling drops all the time against MC back in the day. But you know, the Protoss are really good about avoiding those drops nowadays. So.
Yeah, that's very true, especially because a lot of the Protoss players like making a lot of Stalkers. They help deal with, you know, the Overlord or Overseers, and, you know, they absorb a lot of that Baneling damage. But taking a look at WhiteRa's army, it's literally just like 1 Stalker, 3 Immortals, and like 7 Sentries. So a Baneling drop would actually be very, very potent against this.
Yeah, I mean, the point of the Baneling drops is really to get the Sentries. I mean, once he gets the Sentries, the Lings can go to town on everything else. Immortal Stalker kind of army with a few Zealots is not very good against upgraded Lings. It's pretty devastating, actually.
That's very true. WhiteRa is actually getting a Templar Archives just finished up. He's getting 2 High Templars right now. Looks like he's going to actually try to get some Archons. Yep, the first Archon gets morphed here. He is getting Blink as well as Ground Weapons level 2. Our Zerg player, he's morphing in 41 Banelings right now. He's getting a Spire. Boy. So definitely heavy Baneling play.
Well, there's 4 Banes being 5 Banes, or 4 is that? 4 Banes being morphed with an Overlord. That's going to be headed for this mineral line, but there's 3 cannons in the mineral line, so that's not going to do much of anything. There's one that's going to be attacking the main, and I mean, WhiteRa's got perfect defense here. It's almost like he knows exactly what Dimaga is thinking in his head, because he's got Stalkers lined by his main, and he's got a cannon already by his third. So maybe a Bane or 2 get into the third there, but no way. Not with the Archons there now too. So these Bane drops aren't going to be doing much of anything.
Well, we'll see how he does get played out. Like you were saying, there is one Overlord here in the top middle area that does have 4 Banelings in it. The rest of the army of Dimaga is slowly starting to get put up into these Overlords here. As you can see, there's already quite a lot of Banelings in them. And God, he's just making so many Banelings right now. I kind of want to take a look at this. He's at 49 right now with an additional 25 on the way. Centrifugal Hooks is being researched. +2 is finishing up as well. And I really love this play, actually, by Dimaga waiting for that +2 attack upgrade to finish, because it only takes 1 Baneling to kill a probe with the +2 attack upgrade.
Right, that's a really good point, Alex. And one thing I love about Dimaga is that he loves morphing those, like, ton of Banelings in CVT and CVP. So, he's morphing more. He's morphing another 24 of them. He's going for 200 supply Banes, man.
This is what we call entertainment for you people.
I think so.
Just be ready for the Zergling Baneling all in here from Dimaga.
Oh man, I think the storms are going to be. Oh man, WhiteRa is making a mothership right now. Storm is indeed. No, Storm's not being researched.
No, Storm wasn't researched.
He's not being researched.
Because Archons are really good at blowing up a lot of Banelings at one time.
Yeah, but you know what? 100 Banelings.
Yeah,
they don't care.
Matter.
They don't care about Archons when you have 100 Banelings.
When you can get 100 Banelings, then the game is just. It doesn't matter how good your army is. I don't care if you have 100 tanks. If 100 Banelings are going to do some damage to you, they're going to do some damage to you. Alright, a little bit of a warp in here from WhiteRa into the main of Dimaga. Some Zerglings trying to clean up some of these Zealots. There's quite a lot of gateways, so tons of Zealots can actually get warped in there. Zerglings coming in, cleaning this up quite nicely, actually, after, I think, a loss of a couple of drones. Yeah, 2 drones.
Yep,
that's not many drones.
That's nothing. That is nothing on the grand scheme of things, and it looks like, Dimaga is getting a greater Spire, but WhiteRa's on the map. He's going to be taking out this 5th base over here. Oh man, he's going to be in for a surprise here. Yeah. Oh, but good force field.
Banelings.
Oh,
he sees the Overlords. He knows. He's like, I got to run now.
Because Overlords. But you know what? He's going to lose some of these Overlords to. Yeah, see, that's the thing about the Overlords. They're just not quite fast enough. Even with the speed upgrade, they're not quite fast enough to catch that that Protoss army. You need like Infestors or something to hold them still.
Yeah, but, definitely. It looks like Dimaga went in with a little bit of his army there. Here come the Overlords. Now they can actually do the successful drops. And as you can see, the sky rained green acid upon the Protoss army.
And Dimaga did a smart thing there. He didn't waste any Banes on these Immortals and Stalkers because, you know what? Lings can just clean this up, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's like easy. Oh, but some Zerglings or Zealots are coming in from the back, though.
Yeah, the Zerglings are doing a really great job taking out some of these Immortals, though.
Here comes Overlord. There we go.
Remember that Protoss army? Apparently Dimaga doesn't. Supplies right now very, very similar. 135 to 129. Some High Templars getting warped in there to make some Archons, blowing up as they're being warped in. You know, on the other end in IR, they're just like, hey, what the hell, man?
Exactly. So let's see if we missed any probe kills. Looks like we missed them. I think WhiteRa might have, or Dimaga might have landed one of those Overlords with the Banes in it that we just missed, because WhiteRa's had 25 probes die in this game, and it must have been the one at 12 o'clock, I believe, must have landed somewhere.
It definitely must have, because he did have one kill while WhiteRa was doing the aggression to Dimaga. So Dimaga must have killed 24 on a drop that we kind of missed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we see that WhiteRa does have his mothership out now. A lot of Archons being warped in here from Dimaga, which is actually really, really smart.
Yeah, lots of Broodlords are coming out now, and it's going to be that typical, mothership against Broodlord-centric army here. It's probably going to be coming up here once they both get max, preparing for it. I don't think Dimaga has any infestors yet, does he?
I don't even believe he does. Let me just take a look at that unit stat. He doesn't have none. No, he doesn't have anything. He didn't research pathogen glands, which means that he is not expecting or to be using some infestors, which I definitely think would be a really good idea at this point, because he is getting those Broodlords. He would love to be able to stop the Archons from being, like running into them. The mothership is here, of course, so he can do an Archon toilet, which is really good against Broodlords. Let's just say that much.
And I actually love the fact that Dimaga is actually building roaches at this point. After seeing all the Archons. Oh, there's the toilet.
Now, if Dimaga actually drops Banelings in this toilet too, that would be perfect for him. As you can see, some Banelings.
He should be. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Oh, here comes 10 Banes. Get in there. Why aren't they going in?
Some didn't get in there in time.
Oh, wow. That was
damage.
Oh, looks like the Protoss army is holding steady though. So the Bane, I think that update with the Banes is a little bit different now.
Well, I just don't think there was enough Banes in there. The Archons obviously could soak up so much of that damage. Right now, Dimaga has the supply of 165 to the 111 of WhiteRa. WhiteRa is losing this army. He has one Archon, and that's all they can really attack up. Some Roaches doing some damage to those Zealots. The Broodlings doing some damage. And right now, WhiteRa is looking a little bit worse for the Wares right now, as he's had to remake this mothership and doesn't have that much of a ground army really to defend this 4th and 5th base.
Yeah, great. And again, I actually liked him filling in with some Roaches there at the end against those Archons, because if he would have just built all Lings there, those Archons would have just been tearing that army apart. And
there is a Zealot drop here in the main of Dimaga. WhiteRa was able to warp in a whole bunch of Zealots to try to do some damage, and it's actually doing quite a lot. Some Queens falling here, quite a few drones. But in terms of tech, nothing was really lost, and the Zerglings and Roaches were able to clear up quite a lot of that.
Yeah, it looks like, again, WhiteRa didn't kill any workers there, believe it or not.
Oh, he didn't kill a single one?
Not a single one. Dimaga's still at 2 workers lost, which he was before, but during all that, WhiteRa is establishing his 5th base up in the top left corner, so looking good, both of them economic-wise, and I'd have to say that's probably, I don't know, it's probably been, from an economic standpoint, probably really, really good for Protoss. But you know what? Dimaga's army is getting really scary with those Broodlords, and he didn't lose any Broodlords in that first fight. So
no. It looks like there was a drop that actually hit the 3rd from Dimaga as well, but he was able to clear that up once again. And a couple of Zealots were trying to hit that 5th as well. WhiteRa's keeping on that aggression, but he hasn't killed a single drone. And he's been losing lots and lots of Zealots right now. Dimaga, 40 supply. The upgrades for him right now, let's actually take a look at some of these Zerglings. They are 3-2, the Roach is currently 3-0, and what about our Protoss army? He is 3-2-3. So wow, the upgrades for WhiteRa are looking very, very nice right now. However, he just doesn't have an army count really there to back it up.
And that's the main reason for all of these warp-ins, and I don't think he minds that it's not doing that much. Obviously, he'd love for them to be killing drones too, but it's actually okay that they're not. The whole point of these Zealots is, they're virtually free given that they're minerals, and he just needs to delay WhiteRa from pushing in with that Broodlord army.
Yeah, definitely. All right, it looks like the Corruptors from Dimaga walking right past the Warp Prism.
Oh, one's chasing.
On a move command. Yeah, one's chasing it. Some more Zealots do get dropped here. There are already some Zerglings and some Roaches here to try to deal with it. a Queen's moving in here to try to, put that larva spread down. All right, and an attack from WhiteRa is going to slowly start getting attacked here. Dimaga losing quite a bit of overlords to the left side in the 5th base for him. Actually lost quite a lot. He's now been 5-blocked and has forced to make 9 overlords at one time.
Yep, WhiteRa just going with heavy harass all over the map. He tried to push in there, but unfortunately Dimaga's main army was sitting at that 5th base. So, you know, this harass is being handled really great from Dimaga, but WhiteRa's just being relentless. He's just warping in zealots everywhere on the map. I mean,
yeah. That's definitely true. I mean, he's doing a really good job here with this harassment. He's actually been able to bridge the gap here. With all of this, of course, the time to put in that top left space is kind of up. All right, the Hive is really low on health right now. Actually, it looks like he might try to focus that down.
Yeah, it's going down.
And there goes the Hive.
But, you know, the Hive went down, but you know what? The tech structures are still up, so it's not the end of the world that he lost the Hive there. But he is losing drones in his 3rd. I think he's losing drones.
We've been looking at this wrong. WhiteRa is the one who's been killing all these
drones. Yeah, what am I doing? What am I talking about? Yeah, WhiteRa's been just...
I'm like...
Oh, man. Yeah, that was... Sorry about that, guys. Exactly. I've been looking at that totally wrong, so... Yeah, WhiteRa's just... he's up to 68 workers killed now. He's just going to town all over the map here. And, but you know what? Dimaga's got 17 broods here. And he's morphing 4 more. I mean, I'm not sure... If WhiteRa's prepared for this, as long as he has detection here, I don't know. I don't see WhiteRa stopping this.
Well, that mothership does have enough for 1 vortex, and he does have quite a large group of Archons.
He's gonna have to spread those out. Oh wow, like you said.
He's actually bringing all the Broodlords in there. Some Stalkers blink forward. The Archons obviously want to get into this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And Dimaga.
Oh, this is gonna be the worst Archon toilet ever seen right here.
Here it comes, and
oh, look at that! Oh my goodness, that was crazy. They died in like 1.5 seconds.
That was how many Broodlords was that? That was like 16 Broodlords.
No, that was like 22 Broodlords.
Oh my gosh,
that was crazy, and that's why spreading out those Broodlords are so important when engaging.
Well, guys, now you understand the importance of a mothership and Archons versus Broodlords.
Yeah, I mean, WhiteRa did such a great job harassing all over the map, and I mean, there was a little timing where if Dimaga would have pushed, he would have got a lot done because his army was just way bigger than WhiteRa's. But WhiteRa's harassed, just kept buying time. He kept morphing Archons, and yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think personally, in my opinion, I think Dimaga should have had some infestors in there. He would have been able to deny a lot of that Warp Prism harass, just trapping it and getting it picked off with queens and whatnot.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, you could stop the blink of those Stalkers in those main engagements. You can, keep your Broodlords a little bit further back because they have something kind of tanking. But in that engagement, it was really just like Broodlords in the front, Broodlords in the toilet, Broodlords explode. That was their life.
Okay, let's pick Metropolis. From Metropolis, try to pick that for the Zerg. I think Metropolis is a decent Zerg map for... where is it?
At least you're not saying dual site.
No, not dual site. You know what was interesting this weekend is so many Zergs were picking... they were picking Entombed. I'm not sure about in this matchup, but definitely in ZVT they were picking Entombed quite a bit. I was actually really surprised because... I hate Entombed.
That, I guess, as a Zerg player, as a Protoss player, I love that matchup for PvZ because I could just sit on my 3 bases and then eventually push out and do a little bit of aggression here and there. But yeah, for Zergs to really pick Entombed, it's kind of like a mixed bag. Sometimes it can go really, really well for you, and sometimes it can just blow up in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it looks like this game is going to be starting here. WhiteRa is up 2-0 here in this series against Dimaga. The map will be MLG's Metropolis. So we'll see who wins this one.
Yeah. Let me switch the score here. Let's see what the colors. The colors
WhiteRa's black to blue. I got this for you. WhiteRa is back to blue.
All right. Great.
We're talking about WhiteRa spawning here at the 6 o'clock position here in the bottom of the map as our blue Protoss player up 2-0 here in this series against Dimaga. We have WhiteRa. And spawning here at the 12 o'clock position as our red Protoss player, losing those last 2 games. Let's hear it if you guys are cheering for Dimaga. Woo!
You guys saying that Tempest sucks? Are you kidding me? That Tempest
What?
is freaking amazing, man.
I think Tempest, because
that
as a
is
Protoss player, I'm a
amazing.
little bit, I want those Tempests to actually do more damage. I want them to basically be like nukes every time they shoot something, because that's overpowered. But I want...
22 range isn't enough for you?
No, it's not.
Oh my god, that's insane. I
No,
mean,
it's not. They need to be
it's
dropping
just
nukes
insane.
too. Those would be
Jeez.
fun.
They're not even the
But
slowest things in the world either, so it's like, are you serious?
it'll be really interesting to see how the game evolves with Heart of the Swarm, though. I mean, the game isn't necessarily based about who's the bigger death ball anymore. It's about, more of the strategic placement of your units and smaller back and forth battles here and there, which is, I think, is going to add a new element to StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with at least some of the units that they put in, that it's going to turn into more of microing type of transactions, but I don't know. It's hard to say right now. It's not balanced at all. You know what I mean?
We'll figure
So
out how it gets. We'll see
yeah.
how it is, especially when beta comes out. People will be able to give their opinions, and
Mhm.
things will change, guys. Never look at this until it's like actually in the game. Like until the game is put on that shelf, everything is subject to change.
Who remembers the one supply roach? I do.
Oh,
It was incredibly imbalanced when it
you
first
guys
came
have
out.
to remember, so many changes get made. You can look back at the beta days when Reapers actually started with their Nitro pack upgrade.
Yep, that was too.
Everybody was just like making because that was back when Reapers were like fantastic. There were so many different things that happened, guys. So
Who remembers the 8 racks Reaper build?
that's what I did. That's how I got into Platinum in the beta, which was the highest league in the beta.
I thought Diamond was the highest league in the beta.
No, it was Platinum.
Huh.
At least at
Okay.
the part of the beta that I played.
Oh, well, maybe I joined a little bit later, but... Alright, let's
So
get back
talk
to
about
this game.
Yeah. It looks like Dimaga was forced to put down that spawning pool as the probe from WhiteRa did put a pylon down at the expansion to deny it.
The
It
hatch.
does look like he's taking both of those bases now.
Mhm.
And of course he's flooding some Zerglings across the map. Now the rush distance on this map is a lot smaller across positions compared to a lot of the other maps. It looks like he will be able to get in here, and WhiteRa is going to have to try to block this to let that photon cannon finish up. Oh, but it looks like the Zerglings actually just turn around and run away.
Mhm.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Well, that's all.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Dimaga will do here. I feel like, I don't know, my feel at least is that WhiteRa is a little bit dictating things. You know what I mean? WhiteRa after the first game, kind of that 2-base all-in, definitely had to put Dimaga a little bit on his back foot going into the next game, right? And he ended up changing it up, right? Getting an earlier third. But
Yeah.
Dimaga reacted perfectly well, with the Bane drops there, ended up stuffing that attack, that 3-base Immortal attack. But in the end, it comes down to that mothership engagement, and gotta spread out those Broodlords. So hopefully, Dimaga will do that this next game or any future games in the series.
Yeah, I hope, I've seen Dimaga in these first two games be very, very Ling heavy, staying with the Ling, the Baneling, only at the end kind of transitioning into, he kind of stayed Ling, Baneling until he was on Tier 3. And I think, that can be a little bit of a mistake. Roaches are actually really, really good to use. They soak up a lot of damage. Infestors are so valuable against Protoss, being able to stop Blink Stalkers from being able to move, being able to control drops and everything.
Yep.
I mean, Lings are good. But, there's definitely more things in the Zerg army that I think Dimaga could definitely use to his advantage that he just didn't do those games.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up, again, it's just definitely one style is to, it's really about how you use the gas. Like, I think heavy Ling styles is decent, actually, in Protoss, and I know a lot of people use them to counterattack. A lot of people, will use the Lings to really kill everything but the sentries, right? So whatever gas unit you choose, I think has to, be the sentry killer, right? And in his case, he picked the Banes. And some people pick Mutas, right? Some people actually trade Mutas for sentries. And some people use Infestors too.
Yeah. Alright, for WhiteRa, we see that in this game he's actually going Stargate play. The first Void Ray is out as soon as that is done. Of course, he'll probably be transitioning into making about 2 Phoenixes, as that is the most standard play. He does have 1 sentry here trying to destroy the destructible rocks at its natural towards his 3rd base. For Dimaga, we see that he is still on 1 gas. He hasn't started metabolic boost yet. He's just getting enough gas to be able to do that kind of thing right about now if he chooses to. Nothing quite yet from him. So he's actually just going to continue to make a lot of drones. And there's the Roach Warren going down as well as Lair.
Yeah, and I really like the Stargate play by WhiteRa here. Again, you know, I feel like he's dictating. He's really got
Yeah.
Dimaga like not knowing at all what he's going to do next, and Stargate is just another card that WhiteRa can play that will you know, will really put Dimaga in a situation where he has to make a key decision that could, you know, either win him the game, you know, like a decision that will keep him, you know, countering WhiteRa's tech, or he can make a completely wrong decision with that tech and lose the game pretty handily. Because, you know, Stargate, it's always hard to tell if they're going single Stargate, double Stargate, Stargate in a robo. You know, there's a lot of combinations you can go, and it's pretty different how to handle each.
Yep, it looks like Dimaga has actually thrown down 5 Spore Crawlers as a response. You know, like 2 at the main, 2 at the or third, and 1 at the natural, where he does have 2 queens.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's playing it smart, of course. Now that WhiteRa does have that Stargate play, he's got to be very, very wary of Phoenixes running around trying to pick off all his Overlords. So, Dimaga is going to have to be a little bit more active on the map with his Zerglings. You know, he's not going to have that vision that he's really going to need here to be able to contain the Protoss. So he's going to be playing from a little bit more of a scary point where he has to use his army as his vision.
All right, so it looks like WhiteRa can harass the extractors here. The spores aren't quite in range of the extractor, but you know, overall, I think Dimaga's defense here against the Stargate units is really good. And again, WhiteRa's not committing to like double Stargate or anything like that. It's really more just to get map control, maybe cause a few more spores, a few more queens. And I think he's accomplished that.
Oh yeah, he's definitely made Dimaga have to react to this. He did make a couple of Phoenixes behind this, of course, as well. But yeah, he's just using a few of them to try to harass, you know, Overlords wherever they're dancing around the map. He's using everything here. Okay, look at this. He's like using them to control the drones from being able to get sent over to that third
So
base.
smart, so good.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to try to take out this one Overseer as well. But see, he's not really overcommitting. He's made a couple of Phoenixes. Look, he's got 4 here with this Void Ray, but behind this, of course, he is teched into Robo. He does have some Immortals coming out with Sentries. He wants to take that third base. So he's only using this really to just control the early game here as a transition into the mid game.
And I love this. This is kind of like the Protoss' way of finessing into a third base, and you know, just finessing safely into a third base. And a lot of Zergs, how like Stefano and some of the others, they react by just, you know, just sending a bunch of Roaches and Lings to really pressure this. You know, make it harder, make them multitask a little bit, you know, Protoss multitask a little bit more, or come back altogether, right? But it doesn't look like Dimaga's doing that. Dimaga's just okay with turtling here, knowing that he's safe, his economy's healthy, he's going Roach Infestor. And you know what, the Phoenixes will be pretty good even against Infestor. It'll depend on if the Fungals get off first or if the Phoenixes get those lifts.
Yeah, that's really true. Those Fungals are so powerful against those Phoenixes. I think it's, what, 2 Fungals will kill a Phoenix?
I think it's more than that. It's probably like...
Is it more than that?
Yeah,
2 or 3. It's really not that much. But I also love that WhiteRa is using this Observer here to help keep these Creep Tumors at bay. Alright, it looks like Dimaga is going to be moving out here with quite a large army. Zerglings, Infestors,
and Queens like it. The Queens are so huge here. I really like him sending the Queens too, because they not only they provide anti-air defense, they can transfuse a few of these Roaches too, or maybe Infestors if they're getting low.
Yeah, that's definitely what I think is going to be seeing here. We see that behind this attack, Dimaga is going to be taking this third base, or fourth base. It looks like the attack is going to move in here. He's going to see that WhiteRa has a whole bunch of cannons here, quite a few Immortals and Stalkers as well.
It's not much though.
It's not much, but you know, this can be changed really quickly. WhiteRa does have, obviously, a lot of production capabilities here. As you can see, tons of Stalkers being worked in. Oh, Infested Terrans being made here. That is going to help out a lot, trying to just soak up some of the damage from those Stalkers and those Immortals, as he looks like he's trying to attack the third and the natural.
There we go. The Queens aren't quite up there yet, so these Infestors are very susceptible. It's kind of what I was talking about. If you land the Fungals first, then none of this happens here.
Yeah, it looks like some Fungals have gone down. One Phoenix falling, 3 of them actually really low on health at this point. All right. Here come the Queens.
The first Colossi is out now, so that's going to be doing quite a bit of damage for WhiteRa. While this is happening, Dimaga is going to hide, so he's going to be trying to tech the Broodlord during this harassment. Getting some damage done here.
Yeah, this is really great harassment. Some really good Fungals being landed here by Dimaga. Some more Infested Terran being made here. But WhiteRa's just holding this really well.
He's doing really well. He took out the Cybernetic scores, so he's going to have to rebuild those to make some more Stalkers. But yeah, I think WhiteRa's doing pretty well here. I think, I think those force fields really bisected Dimaga's army there. But he's still sending roaches, so I think he feels like he can still get this done. At least get rid of a large amount of this army.
It definitely looks like he wants to just powerhouse his way through this army. Those roaches do have the +2 attack upgrade behind his corruptors are being made. The greater spire is on the way. So as long as he can just keep the aggression up until Broodlords arrive, he could actually be putting WhiteRa in a very bad spot, as he's going to have to play very, very reactionary. And having those Colossus isn't going to be very helpful when there's a whole bunch of Broodlords attacking them.
Yeah, agreed. I think, I think I was going to say, if Dimaga could have made like a dash up the ramp there, I think it could have been very cost efficient for him, but I don't think he can do it now that he's throwing up, WhiteRa's throwing up a pylon right there, and now he's got his army split into two. But these roaches, you know what, they're not going to be good for Dimaga. I mean, they're not going to be able to do much damage here with this heavy Immortal Colossi army.
Yep, and WhiteRa, of course, will be a little bit behind as well, simply because he did not have time to put the fleet beacon down, so the Broodlords might actually just catch him by surprise. Oh,
looks like he's filling in with some Corruptors, just at least to help out with the Colossi before the Greater Spire's done here.
I think he actually doesn't want to show those off quite yet, just because as soon as he sees Corruptors, he's going to be like, I need that fleet beacon. And there we go, the fleet beacon actually just being started, as I said that, from WhiteRa.
There's that.
The Greater Spire is on its way. In fact, WhiteRa's actually getting Gravatic Drive as well, which is the Warp Prism speed.
Nothing like those fast Warp Prisms. Alright, here we go. Here comes the engagement.
Oh, some really good funnels coming down from Dimaga, but some amazing force field by WhiteRa trying to dissect this army. The Corruptors are doing a lot of damage to those Colossus.
But WhiteRa is just, I feel like, stomping this army. I mean, again,
stomping it now, that's for sure.
The roaches just melt, to this army. So that's why I was wondering what he was going to do with those. He almost should have traded, when he had the chance.
Yeah, right now the supplies right now 178 for Dimaga, the 164 of WhiteRa. The first mothership is on its way. We have 14 Corruptors being made, 1 Broodlord's being morphed in, a couple more roaches as well. But I think WhiteRa is going to be in a pretty good shape here, being able to deal with any kind of attack that Dimaga might throw at him at this point. I mean, he is just getting his 5th now, but WhiteRa is, he's teching up to his 4th. He has a pretty large army. The upgrades are 102 for him. He has the Void Ray in there as well, just for fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's looking really good for, but I have to say, I felt like WhiteRa had a timing there at the very least to take out that 4th base. But both of them are being a little bit passive this game, just really respecting, that the other might be counterattacking or something like that. But now WhiteRa's decided it's time to go, coming in, and if those Broodlords actually end up getting morphed?
Yeah,
it'll be a difference maker there, I think.
Yeah, it looks like WhiteRa is actually going to probably pull back and wait for that mothership now. He doesn't want to have to deal with those Broodlords, especially if he doesn't have the tech, needed to really deal with them. He is getting the Temporal Archives behind this as well. For our Zerg player, Dimaga, as you can see, he is just getting a whole bunch of more Broodlords being warped in. He's getting more Infestors. He's trying to spread his creep. He's taking that 5th base. So, I mean, I feel like he's just really committing to this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Dimaga has this timing where his army is way better than WhiteRa's right now. A mothership isn't nearly as good without Archons. So, right now, if Dimaga attacked, I feel like WhiteRa wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But again, they're playing, a little bit passive here, and I think WhiteRa's in that harassment mode again. It's that kind of area where he's just trying to stall, trying to, he's warping 8 Zealots into the main now, take out some tech structures.
Yeah. Alright, let's actually take a look at that unit tab. As you can see right now, there's 9 Zealots, 3 Immortals, 2 Archons, 1 Void Ray, 3 Colossus, 20 Stalkers, a Warp Prism, 5 Sentries, and a Mothership for WhiteRa. So he has a very nice ball. For our Zerg player Dimaga, 10 Broodlords, 27 Roaches, 5 Corruptors, 6 Infestors, and 4 Queens that he could be using in this attack as well. Looks like he's going to be moving out right now for that attack.
Looks like a base. It looks like a base trade's about to happen.
Yeah. Actually, WhiteRa could actually destroy this 3rd base, and then, his mothership could get enough to Vortex and bring the army back to try to survive.
That's true, the recall. Yeah, the recall ability might work here, but I think, I don't know, I kind of like, I think I kind of like Dimaga here, because Dimaga's army is still way big, way bigger and stronger than WhiteRa's, in my opinion.
We'll see how it gets played out. WhiteRa
Yeah.
has been having really, really good engagements throughout all of these games, so we'll see if that continues here into this third match.
Yeah, there's just no Archons anywhere.
Yeah, there's not enough, I would
Yeah,
say, to deal with those Broodlords. But we'll see if he is going to be able to warp in more. He does have some High Templars here that he can use if he needs to. You could feedback of those Infestors, which would be really, really strong. The Queen is still... Where's that Queen sitting right now? I can't even find it.
The Queen? There's the Queen sitting in the middle of all
Oh, not
this.
the Queen, I'm sorry, the Mothership.
Oh, the
Where's that
Mothership?
Oh, there, it's in behind the main. He does have 132 energy right now. Looks like WhiteRa is going to be taking out this one base here from Dimaga.
Dimaga should be saving those drones if he can. I feel like those are the last of his drones. Oh, he's got a few drones on the other side of the map, but really those are the last of his drones. And he still has a ton banked. You know, I feel like
he does have quite a lot. I really don't know right now. As you can see, you know, Dimaga does have a really large army, but, you know, a large portion of that is actually the Corruptors. I mean, other than the Colossus and the WhiteRa and the Protoss army, everything's really ground-based, other than the Mothership as well. So I think, you know, with a good Vortex, you know, WhiteRa could actually come back from this.
well, right now WhiteRa still has all his tech structure, so he can still
Yeah.
warp in stuff. You know, he can still, like, you know, he's got a bunch of High Templars on the right side of his base. I feel like he could, you know, morph in a few more of those, convert them to Archons, and, you know, maybe recall and like you said, Vortex. He's saving up as much energy as possible in that Mothership.
Yeah, it looks like he's just waiting for that 200, then he can recall, move in, and then do the Vortex if he needs to. Dimaga did take an expansion here on the left side where WhiteRa had his fourth base. I love that little move. Some Stalkers in the main of Dimaga, slowly starting to take everything out. As you can see, the Hive is now under attack alongside these Spore Crawlers. It looks like Dimaga is in the natural right now and is trying to take out some of the Protoss, but here comes Protoss moving back. Actually,
Dimaga has to get out of there. Oh, here we go. Here comes the engagement. I think WhiteRa should really run from this engagement. He can't lose these units.
Yeah, I completely
I think he's
agree.
going to lose them all if he engages here. He just lost one Colossi. He's going to lose another one here.
Yeah, Dimaga actually forces a split on that army as well, so that was not good for WhiteRa. But like we said, back at home, he does have that Mothership. He does have enough for 2 toilets actually at this point, and he has quite a few Archons there as well.
Oh, it's going to take some. It's going to take some sick Archon toilet to stop this. Again, Dimaga has almost 5k banked, about 800 gas, so he could really reload on Roach Ling here if he just built a spawning pool in Roachborn, but he hasn't done so. So here's the spawning pool. He's rebuilding spawning pool in the fourth of WhiteRa's. And again, it's like, I mean, what does WhiteRa have except for a Mothership and a few Archons? That's not going to do anything.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. He just lost some Stalkers there. It looks like WhiteRa is just trying to pick off some of the bases of Dimaga. I definitely think it would have been a little bit better for them as a clumped army ready to go. That Mothership has actually moved out of the main of WhiteRa. Oh, that is scary. But WhiteRa does also have an expansion that's gone up. He is making some gateways to try to deal with this. He has that Mothership that's actually attacking a hatchery. And but yeah, I gotta say that I really prefer Dimaga's army at this point. I mean, WhiteRa lost quite a bit. He split up that army, got into an engagement that he really didn't want to be in, and that gives Dimaga a nice big lead.
Yeah, I feel like Dimaga's taking his time taking this stuff out. I mean, he should really be pushing in there, at least the main, with his army to take out some more tech structures. I mean, he's got 4 Archons just stuck in his main. You know, again, WhiteRa's had these tech structures forever now, so he's been able to warp in Stalkers and Templars and the whole time. So
yeah, that is very true. Alright, it looks like WhiteRa did actually end up using it Vortex, getting those Archons out of the main.
Oh, I see.
It was to take out a couple of those hatcheries that were chilling here on the right side of the map. So in terms of an economy that's still going, WhiteRa is looking stronger, but in terms of an army, we see that the army supply is 106 to 79 in favor of Dimaga. So...
And, you know, Dimaga's supply are Broodlords. Yeah, I mean, they're not like all roaches and lings. They're Broodlords.
So I'm kind of interested to see how WhiteRa's actually going to try to play into this. Obviously, he's trying to just kill off all the expansions just faster than Dimaga can.
And I think that's the right way to go. He's more mobile, right? So He's got to be careful with these roaches.
He does have the ability to vortex back, though. The roaches are doing a lot of damage to these Archons. I really don't like what WhiteRa is doing. He's splitting up a lot of his army. All right, some force fields going down, but here come the Broodlords. There we go. Half that army gets vortexed back, but the other gets recalled back, but the other half stuck here. You do not want to be losing those sentries and immortals, as that is your damage to those roaches. Ooh, I don't see WhiteRa has the possibility of winning this. Obviously, he does have that mining base where Dimaga's really just kind of do long-distance stuff and can't really reinforce. But, you know, WhiteRa, does he even have the ability to make stock? No, he doesn't even have cybernetics for it at this point.
Yeah, he just built it. He just built it.
He's making a Dark Shrine.
Okay, Dark Shrine will definitely help. But you know what? Blink Stalker will be still really good here because him, you know, Dimaga losing a lot of those roaches, believe it or not, is it's going to be bad for him because he needs the buffer for the stalkers. Otherwise, the stalker, there's nothing to attack the stalkers before they can just snipe the broodlords. So I don't know. WhiteRa still has a chance if he can build up a giant stalker ball.
I definitely think that WhiteRa is doing a really good job holding here. I don't think Dimaga is really capitalizing on the fact that his army is so strong that WhiteRa can't just walk right into them. But at the same time, he's also trying to be very careful. He does know that WhiteRa has a mothership flying around the map and does not want to get put into a bad position when all of a sudden Archons just appear out of nowhere. So he's playing a little bit safe. But I definitely think that I think he could have just won this a while ago.
It's tough. I mean, again, this is turning really into a building race because, you know, these Blink Stalkers are so mobile, and, you know, at this point, Dimaga has nothing mobile except for a few roaches, which can't take these out at this point.
Poor WhiteRa just lost 2 full energy High Templars here. It looks like Dimaga has found this one base of WhiteRa. WhiteRa is making probes, but they are not mining right now. They do not have a rally point. A little bit of a mistake there. But at the same time, we see that WhiteRa is doing a lot of aggression here to Dimaga, trying to take out bases at the same time. And our blue Protoss player, what is this? We see Void Rays being produced and Chrono boosted out right now. Quite a large army of Archons as well as that mothership. It's just such a race. These players just do not want to end this game.
I don't know, man. It's starting to get
It's getting pretty one-sided, but
I mean, right now Dimaga's almost getting to the point where he's almost double the supply.
Yeah, it's getting a little scary there for WhiteRa. He does have that Dark Shrine up as well. Does he have any gateways at this point, though? Did he just lose them all? I think he did, so he can't even warp in Dark Templar at this point.
Does Dimaga even Dimaga doesn't even have a observer with his army.
He does have a lot of overlords, though, so...
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't have a lair. Oh, but he doesn't have a lair. He can't actually warp in anything.
Yeah, he can't even... Actually, he can't even morph one if he wanted to.
WhiteRa currently supply blocked right now.
Dimaga doesn't know about this base. He's just running right by it.
He's 1 pylon, so...
Okay. So
I'm going to go in there and be like, yeah, I'll deal with that soon. WhiteRa taking out the Roach Warren of Dimaga. Dimaga barely has anything left on this map. He has 1 hidden hatchery up here to the top, as well as his top right base. And here comes the engagement. A fungal going down on that army. Really great fungal here from Dimaga. 1 vortex goes down, and... Oh,
a lot of Blink Stalker. It's a lot of Blink Stalkers, man. This is what I'm talking about.
That mothership is helping so much because Dimaga actually can't see that army.
Oh my goodness, this is getting close. Oh, no, the Broodling's just tearing up the Stalkers. But you're absolutely right. He should have stayed under the mothership. Yeah, oh wow, what a game though, guys. That was, I really feel that WhiteRa had a shot there at the end if he just would have used the mothership stealth a little bit more there.
Yeah, definitely, because he did vortex in the Corruptors, which means he had nothing other than maybe a couple of queens that could have attacked the mothership. So he could have moved right up there and had those Stalkers well protected to pick off all of those Broodlords. And if the Broodlords have died, then the Protoss would have been in a much better position, even if he had lost the mothership.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, I'm thinking, let's see what WhiteRa's going to pick here. Currently, the score in the series is 2-1. WhiteRa is leading Dimaga. And... let's see what map he actually ends up picking here. They seem to not care what map, so I might just pick anything.
They're just like, whatever. You should you should really screw them over. Put them on like Scrap Station. Just be like, whoa, just for fun. That's
yeah,
just
exactly.
Whatever. I'm just gonna cry in my corner. It's fine.
Okay, Ohana. Let's do Ohana, and we'll get WhiteRa in here. Get you in here, and let's get this puppy started. Okay, this is probably gonna be the last game, regardless, guys. We want to try to get these guys on to talk about at least one game. Check Skype. What's going on with Skype? Something going wrong with Skype?
I don't see anything on Skype.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'll try to get the unit tab up from time to time, and
yeah, I saw that last game, so I tried to just. Let's take a look at what they have, but it can be difficult in the heat of the moment. Of course, so much going on.
Yeah.
All you want to do is watch the action.
Exactly.
That's all I want.
All right, let's see when WhiteRa's ready here. Ready, WhiteRa? We're going to be playing on Ohana LE, guys, so this should be a smaller map. It's probably a smaller version of the last map.
Of Metalopolis? Or Metropolis?
Yeah, meaning that it's, all the bases are really close together, but the map itself is not very long either. So it's pretty easy to get, pretty easy to get to 3 bases and 4 bases and that type of scenario, because especially for the Protoss, because there's only this choke is really small that you can defend like the natural and the third. So
yeah, that's really true. My brain is just like going everywhere, and I'm like, didn't we already play Ohana?
Oh, here we go. No, we haven't played So we've played Daybreak, Cloud Kingdom, just played Metropolis, and now Ohana.
Why am I thinking Ohana? I'm crazy somewhere. Oh, never mind. I know what I'm thinking about. Never mind. It was an earlier play him when I was watching EU play him.
Oh, I see.
It was right before I came on with you too, so I was like, it's just right in my mind. Anyways,
right.
Spawning up here in the top left-hand corner as our blue Protoss player, up 2-1 in this series, it is WhiteRa. And down here in the bottom right, as our Reds are coming back, winning that last game, we have Dimaga.
Fixing score in colors. There we go.
Because these players do not like being the same colors.
No, I actually reversed them too, so it's partially my fault too. So I get it. I mean I deserve some of the blame for that. Okay, guys. So we're having them play a series for those of you just tuning in. We're having them playing a best of 5 series, but it's really with how much time we have. So this is going to be the last game, regardless if Dimaga wins or not, because I'm going to have them come on and at least chat about one of the games. Go do a replay analysis of one of the games. So far, I don't know, which game do you think is the most compelling to have them talk about?
Well, I think that last game that we played, I mean, there was a lot of decisions that were made there in the end game that were, I would love to kind of just figure out what it is they were thinking. Because the other games were, the first one, he made Sentries and Immortals, WhiteRa did, and walked into Dimaga, got some good force fields, and the game was over. The second game, there was a little bit more going on, but it was really that last game that we saw that I felt like there was a lot of decisions that were made that I definitely think would be great to get in their heads.
Yeah, I think last game would be good too. Obviously, a lot of the stuff at the end is kind of just on the fly, kind of flying by the seat of your pants. But yeah, but I think it developed the best that last game compared to.
But there still is this game to go. So
yep, we'll see how this one goes too. But
yeah.
But just want to have one in mind, you know what I mean, instead of us having to go, which game should we be choosing now? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right, well, for Dimaga, we see that he did go for the spawning pool first, up to 16 supply. Does have enough minerals. He's just trying to dance that probe away, and there we go. The hatchery goes down quite successfully for Dimaga. Didn't have to do that much of a dance. WhiteRa going for the fast expand, does get that forge down. The Nexus has been started, and of course, when that forge is done, we'll probably see a cannon and a gateway going down. Very, very standard here from both of these players. Not a whole lot to go on, but let's actually talk a little bit about this map. Now, this map is a really, really great map. And I think almost more so on this map than any other map is the position of these watchtowers to gain control of the entire center of the map is very important. Almost more so than almost on any other map, I would say.
Right.
Not to say that watchtowers aren't important, but this one you get the entire vision of everything that's happening in the middle of the map.
Mm-hmm. And again, you know, like I was saying before, I mean, the bases are, it's like a squished down version of Metropolis if you simplify things, because all the bases are really close together and then they're really close to each other. Like the map itself is a tiny map, I think, and you know, because of that, there's usually a lot of, like you said, a lot of attacking in the middle of the map, or at least where the 4th and 5th are. There seems to be a lot of engagements that happen around there. All right,
Yeah,
looks like 4 Lings. It's chasing that probe, not giving any vision to that probe, and that probe's actually really important to try to find out exactly, what Dimaga's doing. Is he getting a third? Is he, is he trying to time some kind of 2-base timing on me right now? So
yeah. He did actually get to see that third base.
oh, did he?
So,
Okay.
yeah, he did get a chance to.
Oh,
run
you're
right.
right. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
But, Dimaga's just continuing to make a whole bunch of drones right now. He's probably feeling pretty confident. Knows that WhiteRa probably isn't going to be moving up for an attack for a little while. As we've seen early games here from WhiteRa, it isn't really about his early aggression. Doesn't really push out with 2 Zealots and a Stalker. He sits back, he makes his army, he takes his expansion, and he just feels so confident doing it. And that's really what I love about WhiteRa's play, is he doesn't feel like he's forced to make decisions. He plays the game on his terms, and it just works for him.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, some of the folks I just want to answer. Some of the folks in the stream chat are just asking about why we aren't going to play the last the match. The reason is, guys, this show is 2 hours long, and even though it's a series and obviously it's called a best of 5 format, if we don't have time, I think it's more important to have these guys come on and chat about the replays than really just playing out the series. Because we can see these guys play show matches all the time. It's really about getting inside their heads. That's what we do. The
analytical part.
Yeah, that's what we do on Pro Corner. So that's the reason, guys. Revan in particular. I just wanted to answer your question about that, and hopefully you guys understand. If you guys enjoy the show, I haven't even actually said this once. If you guys enjoy the show, please be sure to click the follow button. Best way to kind of follow my shows and find out when they're on. All right, let's get back to the actual match here.
The meat of this game. WhiteRa is actually already getting a fleet beacon. It's 7 minutes into the game and the fleet beacon is about halfway done.
Oh boy, wow.
This is just WhiteRa.
Wow.
This is what I love about WhiteRa. He's just like, I'm going to do something, and it's just going to work out so perfectly for me. A Void Ray is being made right now. It's being chrono boosted out. He's still on 1 gateway, somehow managing to survive on 1 gateway, as our Zerg player on 3 base here hasn't taken down the destructible rocks between that natural and that 3rd yet. This map probably it's important to I can't cast. There's a fleet beacon already done here for WhiteRa. I wonder if we're gonna get carriers.
There's gonna be carriers. I can always guarantee there'll be carriers here. So you gotta leave it to the Mr. Special Tactics to be a crowd pleaser here. He always does this for the fans. So. All right, here comes the first carrier being built, and Dimaga gets in, and he sees the fleet beacon. No,
he's happy. He's like, carriers.
Well, carriers are hard to deal with, even when you know they're coming. So let's get an education on how to deal with carriers here by Dimaga.
He makes banelings.
He makes banelings. Okay, banelings. Okay, banelings are typically not the way to deal with a carrier. A carrier build.
Maybe it's the new metagame strategy. Maybe they throw banelings in the air and explode. I don't really think that's what happens. But actually going out into this game, we see that Dimaga, he is teching to his lair right now, which is going to be good for him. He obviously couldn't do much else. He needs to get that lair up. Might even throw down that Hydralisk stand to try to deal with this, get a couple of queens, but...
You know what? This first carrier might do a crap load of damage. I mean, there's... this carrier and Void Ray together might do a ton of damage. I mean, there's only a Spore and a Queen. I mean, what can that do to a carrier and Void Ray?
It can postpone them, I suppose. Alright, the carrier here doing some damage.
Oh, look at this
mass Zergling Baneling. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to deal with that. He's just going to counter, make a whole bunch of Banelings. As you can see, saving up quite a bit of minerals and gas. That 3rd base, just making sure that it's not up, which indeed it's not. And Banelings being knocked in now from Dimaga. WhiteRa is pulling his Void Ray and his carrier back. The mothership is a little over halfway done. And we're going to be seeing a bust coming through here very, very shortly from Dimaga.
I don't know what WhiteRa can do about this either, and if those rocks get open too, it's not going to help the cause too.
Well, goodbye gateways, cybernetics for...
Okay, here come the probes. Run away, probes!
Oh, so much damage from these Banelings are being done against these probes. Let's actually take a look at that worker's kill tab. It's only at 10 right now. Zerglings flooding in, destroying the entire ground.
Look at this chase. Oh, I got a few. Okay, well, you know what? As much damage as it did, it's WhiteRa didn't he didn't lose that many probes or units. 15, still able to build out of one Stargate for sure.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot more Zerglings still flooding in here, but
yeah.
now the mothership is here as well. Looks like he's just really trying to hit the economy of WhiteRa right now, as you've seen. A total of 15 probes killed off. Dimaga is just trying to find an edge right now to deal with this carrier without actually having to deal with this carrier. 9 Corruptors are on the field now as well. No ground army from WhiteRa really to be able to deal with this, so those Corruptors are going to be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I think with whatever timing that WhiteRa had with the carriers and mothership, it's probably over now with the 9 Corruptors coming out. 9 Corruptors should be able to be a good base to build off of to kill this army.
I definitely think that WhiteRa probably didn't want those Zerglings initially to get up into the base to see, and then have that first carrier move out and do a lot of damage. But, behind this, he's just getting another carrier. He's getting another 7 X-Core and gateways because he did lose those. And there's some Banelings that were getting warped in there that were taken out from WhiteRa. Dimaga, on the other hand, does have a large army of Corruptors behind this. He is getting that +1 flyer attack upgrade, as well as +2/+2 ground and attack carapace. So he's going to make sure that he has enough to deal with the ground army of WhiteRa, and the Corruptors, of course, to deal with the air army. And at this point, that's a possibility. He has to make sure that mothership goes down, though. If that mothership gets a good vortex, and then the ground army gets picked up. It's going to be hard to deal with it, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it's the hardest thing to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's going mothership, it's not the most clear thing what to do. Whether you just go pure Corruptor and almost build no land units, since he is building some Zealots, or whether you go like Hydras. I know a lot of people decide like they want to try to go Hydra, and that's like absolutely the wrong thing to do, guys. If you're playing Zerg, never build Hydras against carriers. So it looks like he is opting for the heavy Corruptor, and usually you want to throw in like maybe 1 or 2 Infestors or a few, but he's just going straight Ling Bane and Corruptor here, and I think it's going to work. It's probably going to kill all this stuff.
Well, if WhiteRa keeps that mothership out in the front like he did for a second there, it definitely has a better possibility. But look at this giant army from Dimaga moving across the field. So many Zerglings and Banelings. The Banelings, of course, can be used to do quite a bit of damage to the sentries, assuming the sentries do not get perfect force fields. If there's just one little gap, they can blow up even when they don't see them.
Oh, great force fields there.
Yep. Some Zerglings obviously getting in there. See, there's the one toilet. Everything's just going to move into the toilet. They're just like, I might as well.
Yeah, but there's nothing to do AoE damage in the toilet, so it's not like the end of the world for Dimaga. In fact, I think the Overseer will be up here in time, and everything's going to go down all at once now that it's all clumped.
Yeah, so. All mothership falls, all the carriers are now getting targeted down by these Corruptors. The Zerglings doing so much damage here to the ground army. The Corruptors, the carriers all gone. Some Void Rays are getting picked off now as well. And this is looking so strong for Dimaga. WhiteRa's probably going to be GGing pretty shortly.
Alright, this is it. This is going to be... It's going to be a tap out really soon here by WhiteRa, but he's still trying to fight with no units.
There it is.
There it is. Alright. Alright, guys, so let's pull those two guys on. Let me restart the call with you, Alex, and we'll do that.
Sure thing.
Okay, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Those 4 games by the two guys. We're gonna have them come on here and discuss Game 3. Did I have him as tossed? Did I really do that? Shoot, I didn't mean to do that.
Hello, I'm back.
Hey. All right. Let's get those two guys on.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hey.
Dimaga. Good last game.
I was lucky.
Those Lings getting in there, seeing the flea peeking, man, that was clutch.
Slow game.
So close.